Ant-Man, Ant-Man, Ant-Man. I had the same question you had that I pondered quite a long time, deep inside. Can a character so small, pun intended, live up to the likes next to Marvel's other gigantic superheroes like Iron Man, Thor, and Captain America? Well, to answer that question with a simple answer would be unfair to the film. Epic Film Guy Justin here just had the pleasure of checking out Ant-Man tonight, Marvel's brand new outing out at theaters this weekend. We're already halfway through the summer, people. It's dwindling down, but we've still got a lot of awesome stuff to check out. I'm pretty excited. It's been a great summer so far, and Ant-Man is no exception. It's the same question I've been asking myself for months. Before Age of Ultron, as soon as I saw the first teaser for Ant-Man, I asked myself, can they do it? Can Marvel break the mold? Can they break the mold of the same generic, formulaic film that we see every summer that they've been doing ever since Phase 2? Well, we're going to get to that. The plot of Ant-Man is very, very simple. It takes a lot of liberties on the actual storyline of the character from the comics. Now, I'll be completely honest, I am not an Ant-Man fanboy. I never read any of the comics. It was not a character I was very familiar with. I only know that he's part of the Avengers, and he is the, as far as I know, in the comics, the sole creator of the Avengers. Okay, so we'll get that out of the way. Comics aside here. Paul Rudd, fantastically cast as Scott Lang and Ant-Man. Character's out on his luck, man. He is a lifelong criminal. He's got a daughter out there and he's trying to reconnect with, and he's trying to find a way to make that happen. He's hitting a roadblock every 5 feet. We've got Michael Douglas chewing up scenery here as Hank Pym, who is an inventor and scientist and whatever the hell you want to call him, who early on in the film we see dealing with Stark Industries, basically saying, you're never going to touch my serum. This serum is state of the art, it's revolutionary, it'll change the world forever. You're never going to get it. So, fast forward, he's no longer running his company. He's given it to Darren Cross, who is a generic archetype villain, and I'll get to how bad that villain is later on. We have Evangeline Lilly as Hank Pym's daughter, estranged daughter, mind you, for various reasons. I will not get into spoilers here. And the story starts. Hank Pym gives Scott Lang an opportunity to basically get back his life. And he takes that opportunity in quite the generic way. Now, as I normally do if you watch my reviews, you notice I don't get too in-depth on the story. I don't want to get spoilers, blurt in front of your face here. I just want to talk about what I liked and what I didn't like about the movie in little bits and pieces. I'm not all about throwing the spoilers in your face. So, Ant-Man at its heart is something very creative. It takes a character and showcases him in what you would consider a very comedic heist film. It's been a long time since a really good heist film has been in mainstream cinema. And I'm glad that they took the opportunity to use Ant-Man in that kind of film. The comedy here is top-notch. I have not laughed this hard in any superhero movie in a long time. Now, mind you, the comedy is always there in Marvel's films, but here in Ant-Man, Paul Rudd, fantastically cast here. Every single time he's on screen, he's great. Delivers his one-liners fantastically, and was the perfect man for the job. Hands down. Get that out of the way. Michael Pena there, man, is a side character as his right-hand man and best friend. Seriously, out of nowhere, man, he makes this film a really fun time. A lot of the things I loved about Ant-Man was very inventive visually, and I think the use of the insects and when he gets small was really interesting to see, especially on a really beautiful 4K screen. Definitely a film to see in IMAX if you get the opportunity. It's visually stunning. It does things creatively with action scenes that we've never seen before, and I was super happy they took the opportunity to do that. Everyone is fantastically cast here except for Corey Stoll, who played Darren Cross. I felt he was just miscast, not a very good actor at all. And that's going to get into the things that I really did not like about Ant-Man. It's the number one problem with every single Marvel movie. And I'm pretty sure my Epic Film Guys partner Nick will agree with me. The villain. Where's the villain? We just dealt with Age of Ultron, where you built up this huge threat. Ultron's supposed to be a huge threat. Violent, brutal, and what was he? Nothing more than a Saturday morning cartoon villain. Here, we have, to date, the worst villain out of any Marvel film ever made. The most weak, badly written archetype character. I can't say that enough. It's the only reason why this film is losing points for me, because everything else about this movie was great. I had a fun time with it. I laughed. I was on the edge of my seat. I had goosebumps in some scenes. It was just a fun, awesome time. Even more so than Age of Ultron. Yeah, I said it. I enjoyed Ant-Man on an entertainment level more than Age of Ultron. But Marvel has shown here over the past, I don't know how many films, they just don't know how to write their villains. That or they don't care. It shows when your villains are generic and they only just want to be regular bad guys. Like, what was the point here? Other than how cool Yellow Jacket looked in his costume, what's the point? What does he want to be? What is his motivation? There was none. Literally zero. Get rich? He didn't even seem that interested in money. You know? It was just a waste of time. That's what pisses me off the most about this film, is that it could have been a 9 out of 10, but instead, it's a 7 out of 10. Because Marvel just can't get their villains right. It's their only downfall, in my opinion. A great thing to state, a very positive thing, hot on the heels of being really negative about that, is this film doesn't focus as much on world building, which is the number 2 issue Marvel has with all their other films. This takes its time to develop its characters a little bit more, add a lot more comedy relief, and not focus so much on what's going to happen in the next film. Yes, we get our after credits scenes, but we don't have anything chewing scenery making us thinking about the next film. We're just focused on Ant-Man, and we're just having fun with it. And that's the best thing about Ant-Man, is it's fun. But flaws aside, it's still not anywhere near as good as the Phase 1 and up until the first Avengers. Wish it was, but a lot of that lies on the shoulders of Paul Rudd and the fantastic Michael Douglas here. Chewing scenery, man, for real. This guy is a legend, and it shows in every scene. No one can live up to this guy when he's in the room, in any scene that he's in. You just focus directly on him. His voice, his mannerisms, nothing can touch him. He's fantastic, and I'm really glad to see him in a film. I know that he said he would be in any Marvel film if they had asked him. I was really happy to see him in this one. He fit perfectly. Story aside, as generic as it was, it seemed to work. I just wish they would focus on making their villains a threat. The villain in this film is not only generic, but he does nothing to show that he's a threat. The end of the film, as fun as it was super lackluster. What are you going to do, man? I guess Marvel just doesn't care about their villains. Enough blabbing from me, Epic Film Guy Justin here. Again, I'm giving Ant-Man a 7 out of 10. Had a fantastic time at the theater. Great family entertainment. Great to see some stunning visuals. Just yet again, Marvel, a little bit of paint by numbers. Not as much as the rest of the films they've done recently, but slightly disappointing. Why can't you do a villain right? Until next time, I'd like to hear what you think of the movie. Comment on the video. See you later.